Good day, class. We're back now because now that we've created our Google Drive public folder, we need to look at the portfolio of evidence question 1, which is about a survey. Right, if you look here, you'll see I've created a digital access survey document and a spreadsheet. The document is basically the survey questions and the spreadsheet collects the answers. Let's open them up to see how they work. That's my document now opening up, and you can see it's titled Digital Access Survey, and it's got a couple of questions over there, as you can see. If I go back to this window over here and I open up my Digital Access Survey spreadsheet, it's another document, you can see quite clearly, if I look at my questions, do I have internet access at home? Do I have internet access at home? You can see that there's, for each question that is asked in the form, you've got a corresponding field or column in the spreadsheet, and you can see over here these are answers to whether someone has access at home. It also asks how do you access the internet, which of course is ADSL, fiber or cell phone, and again you can see the various answers. And then over here I've also included the thing about whether it's male or female and also the cost in rand per month. The reason is that we're looking at digital access, which deals with internet infrastructure access by virtue of whether you're a male or female, also your cost of internet access and your type of internet access. Also, we need to look at things that hinder digital access, such as languages, people knowing technology better than others, education, gender obviously, and socioeconomics, which refers to how much people use. So with all those things in mind, which are found on pages 20 to 23 of the module manual, I've compiled these questions. As you can see, I've also managed to collect some answers. How do we get to this stage? Let's start at the beginning, and I'll close down all of this. The first thing to do in your publicly viewable folder which you've just created is to create a new form, and that's found by going to More, Google Forms, and you select a blank form. It will complain about using a shared folder, but we need to do this to make this viewable and accessible to everybody. Right, I'm going to call this Digital I'm going to call it Digital Access Survey 2. The question I'm going to ask here is, do you access the internet at home? Okay, and you could add all, which would add everything, possibly, but we don't really want to use maybe, it's either yes or no, so we'll click that like that, and we will make it a required question. It's a multiple choice because it's either going to be yes or no, and that will be whether we access the internet at home. Next thing is, what type of access do you have? Here we could put in ADSL, as we said. We could also put in fiber, and we could put in cell phone, which would be your 3G or your 4G, like that. Make that required. Add one. Okay, now how much do you spend on internet per month in rand? That just clarifies it. So we could now say, okay, we could say 100. We could, let's say, greater than 100. greater than 200, greater than 300, as an example. We could then add that as a required question and add in the next one. Male or female. Okay, so what happens now is, because it's an option between two, Google has been clever enough to work out to give us these options over here, and we can just add them all in, and it's done. Quite straightforward, actually. Now we could do a scale here, and we could do it on a linear scale, and we could say, how do you rate your digital skills? And you could say, for instance, 1 would be poor, 5 would be excellent, and it will scale them for you. You could make that required and add it in. Right, we have some questions. Now what happens? Well, if you click on responses and you click on this little cross over here, it will now create a spreadsheet. Okay, and we can call this digital survey 2, and it will now create the spreadsheet, and it will also go and open it. So that's how you create your spreadsheet, and it's named Digital Access Survey 2. So to name the form the same as the spreadsheet, you just go back to it like that, and if you click there, it will update the name to Digital Access Survey. So now we've got a Digital Access Survey form and a Digital Access Survey spreadsheet. Okay, so now what we can do is we can collect responses, and what we can do to do that is click on send, click on this link over here, and what it will do, it will create this link which you can use. It will take you off to your survey like that. But what's also quite nice is to experiment with shortened URLs, and if you click on shorten URL, it will create a little URL like this, which if you copy that and you paste it in here like that, you'll see it actually does the same thing as the long URL that you've got over here. Here's your form, as you can see, with the long URL. Here is the form, the long URL that's been changed into a shortened URL. So what would you do now? Well, you could send this link, this shortened URL, to your student friends, or post it on your blog and get them to use the link to navigate to your survey, which will be over here. So as an experiment, I'm going to answer a few of these things quickly and just put them in like that, and I will say my skill is excellent, and I will click submit. Okay, so what happens now? If you look at your spreadsheet, you'll see it's updated, right? It's put my questions and answers into the spreadsheet. I'm going to do another one just to show you. I'm going to say no. What type of access do I have? Well, I could have ADSL access at work, and cost, I'm not sure, but I could just do that, and I prefer not to say. My skill is medium, and so forth and so on. And I'm just going to populate the list with a few things, and off we go. So now if you go back to the list over here, you'll see I have three lists. So if you go back to the survey over here and cancel this, now here's the important thing. You've got these two buttons, summary and individual. If you click on individual, it gives you the survey. If you click on summary, it summarizes the 3 responses in a graph. Now this is very, very useful, because what we can now do, we can use this snippet tool over here, and we can copy this. So if I go to new and I copy this like this, I have now got a copy of my graph, and if I save it, I can just call it capture. I'm going to put it into my directory where I'm working, which is it's here, and I'm going to do another new one, and I'm going to copy this one too, actually, and I'm going to just save this too, and that's going to be capture 1. So I've got 2 different graphs, and I'm not sure if I've got another response. I've got another response. So, you know, with all of these tools, we can actually now copy our graph. Like this. File, save as, call this one capture 3, and we now have 3 graphs. We can close down snippet, and now that we have our tools, the next thing we'll do is we'll show you how to create the portfolio of evidence blog and the question relevant for it, and then paste in these links that we've now established over here. Thanks very much for listening.